Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am back with some more Genshin Impact. We still haven't finished up all of the Kaveh hangout event endings yet. We've done 3 of the 5. But before we get back to the hangout event, we're going to work on today's Genius Invocation event stuff. Which is whatever. Yeah, Duel the Summoner Summit. We are going to start with this. So yeah, we got a new quest. I think the first quest of this event took like 45 minutes, something like that. So I guess we can expect today's to take probably about the same amount of time. If I can find where the hell this is located. Why is it not showing up on here?
There have been many poorly written
Oh, because okay. My bad. I have to wait until a certain time. Okay. I only have to wait like 45 minutes. Okay.
Just have to reject them all.
Oh, the following. God dang it. I swear it does this every single time. Okay, gotta go. All right. Okay.
Merchants flock and all ships dock. Now I understand what that saying was trying to describe. Still, nothing beats seeing it with your own eyes.
Welcome to Liyue Harbor. I hope you had a smooth journey. Lady Ningguang instructed me to wait for you here.
Oh, it's Ningguang's secretary! Which Bai is it again?
It's Baiwen. I assist Lady Ningguang with collecting and organizing intelligence.
That's right, Baiwen! Paimon remembers now. The other two are Baishu and Baishao.
Lady Ningguang?
Jeez.
Jin Tianxuan of the Liyue Qixing?
Yep, that's her. But why does Ningguang want to see us? Wait, and how does she even know that we'd be arriving in Liyue Harbor today?
Lady Ningguang likes to stay informed. Nothing slips through her intelligence network. She wishes to invite our visitor from Fontaine, Mademoiselle Charlotte, to join her at Eugene Terrace to discuss cooperation.
What would she want with me? This is the first time I've ever been to Liyue Harbor.
Okay, that's pretty sus, dude. I mean, what? She got like fucking spy cameras everywhere?
Lady Ningguang has known of you for quite some time. A talented and capable journalist with the Steambird who writes insightful, engaging, and, most importantly, factual prose. She rather admires your work. She also understands that in revealing the truth, your exclusive news, you have offended some interested parties that have been pulling strings behind the scenes. And that is why you have been sent on an international reporting trip to cover the Genius Invocation TCG events.
Wait, what? That's terrible! Oh, poor Charlotte.
No, it's just part of the job. I'm already used to it. But I'm surprised to learn that Lady Ningguang knows so much about my situation. Does she know my boss or something?
Paimon wouldn't be surprised. She seems to know everyone and everything.
Lady Ningguang also welcomes the two of you to join, if you're interested.
Oh. So she wasn't even interested in the traveler. She just wanted to meet Charlotte.
Oh, you didn't tell me you were best buddies with Lady Ningguang.
Oh, Paimon wouldn't go that far. We've just been invited to the Jade Chamber as honored guests a couple times. You know.
Enough with the humble bragging, Paimon.
But anyway, if Ningguang wants to discuss work stuff with Charlotte, it's probably gonna be best if we stay out of the way, right? Maybe we can go ask around about the card snatcher while you have your meeting with Ningguang.
Oh, are you sure?
Absolutely. No trouble at all.
All right, thanks. Then I'll leave you to it. Let's catch up and swap notes later. I'm actually pretty excited to meet Lady Ningguang, so I don't want to keep her waiting.
Very well. Please, Mademoiselle Charlotte, follow me.
See you two later.
Sounds like Charlotte's a top-notch journalist, huh? Paimon's not sure what that exclusive news is all about, but it definitely sounds like a big deal. And if she manages to write up an article about this card snatcher case, we'll be featured in her exclusive news too!
It feels like we're about to become famous.
We're already famous.
Yep, you're right. Okay, why don't we start asking around at the docks? There's always a lot of people coming and going. Maybe someone's seen people trading cards there.
Okay, so we need to go over here. Okay. Ugh. What? Ask people at the wharf for more information. Okay.
Hey there, got a question for you.
Hello. Ask away. If it's fish you want, I've got all the answers.
Actually, it's not about fish. We were just wondering, since you're here all day running your stall, have you seen anyone collecting card backs for Genius Invocation TCG?
Genius Invocation TCG. Afraid I don't know anything about that. People come here for blackback bass, but not card backs.
Really? Sorry to bother you then. We'll try our luck somewhere else.
Don't you want to buy some fish to take with you? All my fish are super fresh, you know.
5 times speedy equals...
400.
Hi there, can we ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead. I'll answer as best I can.
Have you noticed anyone here collecting card backs for Genius Invocation TCG recently?
Card backs? No, I'm afraid not. Sorry. Just before, a girl in Inazuman attire walked by, and I've been sneezing nonstop since.
What? Okay, we're just gonna blame it on some random Inazuman that walked by? Okay.
Well, take care of yourself and get well soon. We'll keep asking around.
I'll be alright. While the Millilith stands guard, evil shall never prevail.
sure, ask away. The ship's already set sail anyway, so I've got all the time in the world.
Have you seen anyone around here recently collecting card backs? You know, for that really popular game, Genius Invocation TCG?
Collecting card backs? I've definitely seen people around here playing the game, but I'm usually preoccupied with thinking about the sea. I've never paid too much attention to it.
It's fine. We'll ask someone else.
Oh, I really can't afford to wake up late next time.
Well, this got off to a slow start. Let's try somewhere else.
Hey, you two. Looking for someone?
Huh? Paimon knows that voice. It's Kaveh!
Nice to see you again, Traveler and Paimon.
How have you been?
Very well, thank you. Even better now that you're here. Captain Beidou needed to return to Liyue to take care of some business, so I've been taking the chance to get to walk around town. It's a nice surprise to run into you two here. Looks like you have questions. May I be of any help?
Well, long story short...
I see. Well, the harbor breeze is as peaceful and pleasant as ever. I don't believe that the card snatcher you're looking for has been through here.
Huh. Okay.
I'm not sure if that's good news or bad in your eyes. Oh, by the way, it seems there's a competition being held nearby. I stopped to have a look. This Genius Invocation TCG. It seems to be immensely popular at the moment.
Wait, have you never played it before, Kazuha?
No, I haven't. I have quietly observed from the side. The captain brought a small box aboard recently that contained a variety of beautifully illustrated cards. She enjoys playing with the crew while enjoying a few drinks. A few too many, perhaps.
That's called a casket of tomes. It's what you use to carry your cards in, and it helps you find players nearby, too. You should give it a try, Kazuha. The rules are pretty easy to pick up, and then you'll have a fun game to play with your friends.
This is the perfect chance to learn.
Forging friendship through card-based combat does sound quite delightful. All right, then. Show me the ropes, if you please.
Paimon can teach you. Paimon's watched the Traveler play a ton of times, so even Paimon's a master invocator now. After we teach you the rules, we'll also have to get you a casket of tomes.
But what about this card snatcher you're looking for? Is not dealing with that more urgent at present?
Oh, good point. Paimon got so caught up chatting with our old friend that she nearly forgot about our promise to our new friend. Now where should we go next? Huh? Hey, look over there!
Is that?
Isn't that the Inazuman courier
Oh.
who Toyota was chatting with back in Mondstadt?
Yeah.
What's she doing here?
It's Kirara.
I just noticed the logo at her waist. Isn't that Komania Express?
Huh? Do you know that company, Kazuha?
Yes, I've heard of it. They provide delivery services in Inazuma.
Looks like she's having some trouble. Why don't we go and introduce ourselves?
Let's get to know this girl who has the potential to be the new best girl of Genshin Impact.
From here.
Hey there! You look lost. Need any help?
You frightened the life out of me! Huh? Oh, I recognize you. Weren't you at the Cat's-Tail in Mondstadt?
Yep, Paimon's name is Paimon, and these two are the Traveler and Kaidahara Kazuha. It's a strange coincidence running into you again.
Hello. Hello. My name's Kirara. I'm a courier for Inazuma's Komania Express.
I know Komania Express is widely praised for its punctual and safe delivery services, but I wasn't aware that the company had started operating internationally.
Wow, it's rare to meet a fellow Inazuman abroad. Our company just recently began expanding its services overseas, which is great for me because now I basically get paid to travel all around the world. Only downside is, I sometimes get a bit lost when it's my first time in a new city. Sometimes, when I'm running late, I even have to change back into my original form and climb over walls to make sure the parcel's on time. Do you happen to know the way to the Wangsheng funeral parlor? I feel like I've been going in circles all day.
Yeah, we know the place. We'll show you the way.
You will? Oh, thank you so much!
Okay. It'd be faster to do this.
Down on the ground, the dice spin around, while high in the sky, the sun shines bright. That last line could use some work.
Here we are. This is it.
Oh, White's the Traveler and Paimon. What brings you here? And I see you've brought some friends, clients, business partners, new associates.
Maybe leave the introductions to Paimon. This is Kaedehara Kazuha, and this is Kirara.
Hello. It is an honor to meet you.
Greetings, old friends and new. So, what brings you all to Wangsheng Funeral Parlor this fine day? Wait, don't tell me. Is it our latest promotion? One touch that you journeyed all this way.
No, we were just giving Kirara directions.
Hello, ma'am. Are you Director Huta of the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor? I'm your Komania Express courier, and we have a delivery for you. I just need to ask you for a signature. Let me see. Yes, I've been expecting this. Delivery services these days make everything so much easier. I used to have to send my consultant running to and fro for this kind of thing. Say, Kirara, how flexible is your company in terms of delivering different types of goods? How about a living person? And what about someone who's more in between alive and dead?
Bro. There goes Hutao again.
Standing up on end.
Guess that's a no. Well, maybe we can talk about potentially expanding your company's services some. Trouble you a moment and leave a 5-star review? 1 extra for going the extra mile. Oh, 5 stars will be plenty, really. But your enthusiasm means a lot. Alright, I should be on my way now. Thanks again for the directions.
You're welcome.
Yeah, don't mention it.
Cool. Well, I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Although, hopefully next time it won't be because I'm lost.
I heard you reciting a poem just now, Director Who. May I ask from where you drew your inspiration?
Oh, do you share a liking for poetry as well?
Once in a while, I throw words at each other and see what sticks.
Yeah, there's no need for self-deprecation. I've seen people from all walks of life. And I can tell just from the way your sleeves flutter in the wind that you are a man of culture.
Bro.
Anyway, I'm preparing for the tournament final that will be held shortly. Anyone feeling poetic? I need ideas.
Tournament final? Ooh, you mean the Genius Invocation TCG tournament?
Yeah, that's the one. My next opponent is no small fry. Most of the time he's so unassuming you couldn't pick him out of a crowd. But during this tournament, it's like he sprang up out of the ground like a whopper flower and took the competition completely by surprise. So I have a strong feeling that this will be a tough battle to win.
Then shouldn't you be focusing on your strategy? How is writing poetry gonna help?
Because skill doesn't thrill unless you've also got style.
What?
I swear. Hu Tao. She's got to be the most random character in this game.
Let me give you an example you'd be more familiar with. To make a great dish, it takes not just flavor, but presentation too. Ever heard the saying, it takes two flint to light a fire? Same principle applies when you're trying to make an impression.
Anyway.
That sounds like it makes sense. Or does it? Oh, Paimon can never tell with Hu Tao.
In duels to the death, some samurai pay each other respects before the fight. Often, the two opponents find they have much in common.
See? New guy gets it. What did I say? A man of culture.
You flatter me, Director Hu. In my humble opinion, you could try incorporating your competitive aspirations into your lines. Or perhaps some words to intimidate your opponent.
Oh, we have an expert among us. Hey, why don't you play a match with me? It'll help me warm up and maybe find some creative inspiration.
As much as I'd like to oblige, I'm afraid that I haven't played before. I don't even have my own deck.
You can use my deck.
Perfect! Paimon really wants to watch you play. How about Paimon gives Kazuha a crash course right now?
Bro.
Since everyone is so willing to offer their help, how can I refuse?
So there you have it. Those are the rules. Paimon also included a few little tips and tricks she's picked up from watching the Traveler play. Well, think you can handle it from here, Kazuha?
I think I've got it. Thank you, Paimon-sensei.
Sensei? Wow! Paimon's never been called that before!
Well, Kazuha, ready to go one-on-one against Liyue's most notorious backstreet poet?
Yes. Thank you for the opportunity, Director Hu.
Any last words before the duel begins?
One moment. Okay, I think I've got something.
Wow, that was fast.
All right. Say your piece, Challenger.
Whoa, things are really heating up.
Shh.
Minds like sharp blades clash. Friendship forged through cards and dice. Autumn leaves burn bright. I, Kaedahara Kazuha, humbly accept this duel.
Okay, what the hell does autumn leaves have to do with this?
The birds are chirping, the weather's so nice. Watch me roll 6 pyro dice. Director Hu of the Wangsheng Funeral Parlor is ready for battle.
Bit of a jarring change of genre there.
My turn. Chi?
I am defeated. It's no wonder that Director Hu has earned a spot in the tournament finals.
Talk about an exciting match, though.
Good thing I was able to send off all those summons of yours. I have to say, it's hard to believe that this was your first time playing.
I owe it all to Paimon-sensei's teaching.
Huh? You really mean that? Yay!
I agree. Paimon Sensei is the best teacher.
Ah, shucks. Now Paimon's embarrassed. Well, Kazuha, did you enjoy Genius Invocation TCG?
Yes, indeed. There is a good variety of card abilities, and the tempo of the match can swing in an instant. I understand now why it's become so popular across Teyvat.
Oh, seems the world's gained yet another TCG player.
Ka-ching! When did you get
shortly after these two had begun their match. Everyone seemed so focused on the game that I didn't want to interrupt. You must be Kaede Harakazuha? Your reputation precedes you. It's an honor to finally meet you.
Please, the honor is all mine. I have heard great things about the esteemed Yuhang from Captain Beidou.
Just call me Kuching. You played very well indeed, considering it was your first time. I'm impressed. If we ever have the opportunity, I too would like to play a match with you.
Wow, Kazuha's already lined up his next opponent.
Why so surprised? Practically everyone at Yujing Terrace is playing Genius Invocation TCG these days. I also play from time to time, when time permits.
It would be my pleasure to join you for a match. However, I can't borrow the Traveler's deck forever. Our match might have to wait until after I manage to obtain my own casket of tomes.
Oh, that shouldn't be a problem. When we get back to the tournament venue, I'll ask a member of the Genius Invocation TCG Society to provide one for you. And please don't think about returning the favor. I assure you it's no inconvenience. Besides, a friend of the Traveler is a friend of us all.
And so begins Kazuha's TCG journey.
I am grateful for your kindness, Kuching.
Pleasure. Also, Hu Tao, the final is about to start. I just came to make sure you're aware.
Don't worry. It might look like my mind's on other things, but I'm still listening. Thorough preparation is the key to victory, after all.
Will you all be coming with us to the venue?
Actually, there's something we wanted to discuss first.
All right, back to the task at hand. We're investigating a card snatcher. Have any of you seen someone going around collecting Genius Invocation card backs recently?
Card backs? You mean like the kind with a treasure chest design on it?
Yes, exactly. That's the one.
Funny. The word snatcher didn't come to mind when I saw him. He struck me as more of a potential client. I saw him playing a match against Chongyun this morning. He said that whoever lost would have to hand over their card back. It was close, but he managed to beat Chongyun in the end. After the match, he wiped the sweat from his forehead, took the card back from Chongyun, and left.
Sounds like we need to go talk to Chongyun then.
In that case, try Uwang Hill. I think that's where he should be.
If I may ask, what else is this alleged card snatcher suspected of doing?
We don't know too much about him, apart from his obsession with card backs. But apparently, he's stolen other players' cards before.
I see. I'll inform the Millilith to be on the lookout for this individual. But while he's still at large, make sure you stay safe.
I think I'll go with the Traveler to Uwang Hill.
Alright, see you later.
Good luck in the final, Director.
With so many people rooting for me, I'm sure the match will be over before I can say Hugh.
Before I can say Hugh?
Alright, let's go
Okay.
find Chongyun.
Way up to the north. Oh, isn't that the dude that we normally see, like, on that ship in Liyue Harbor? Like, for that one commission?
Hey, don't panic. I'm sure we'll find her.
Chongyun, we found you!
Paimon, Traveler. And...
Hello, I am Kaede Harakazuha.
Hi, I'm Chongyun, an exorcist from Liyue. Long story short, this boy lost his friend while they were playing hide-and-seek.
I told little you not to hide anywhere too far away, but I've looked everywhere, and I still can't find her.
Uh-oh, it could be dangerous to get lost out here in the wilderness. We'll help look for her too. Did you see which direction she went?
Yeah, I kind of peeked a little bit when I was counting. She went that way.
Okay, then let's start looking in that direction. Little you? Little you? Where are you?
A snapped branch and some trampled grass. It looks like the girl was hiding here.
Guess that means we're on the right track. Let's keep going.
Oh, nice.
The treasure hoarders again. Oh, let's hope little you didn't run into them.
The hell? Okay. Really now? The... Bro! Will you fucking, like, get up and fight? For fuck's sake.
Sharing my knowledge.
Seems like an emergency.
Seriously, why are we always running into these guys?
Hey, everyone! Have a look at this.
Are those Genius Invocation cards?
Oh, I know that one. It belongs to little you. Her dad gave her a deck, and it's her favorite thing. She takes it with her everywhere.
So little you is definitely here. But there's a fork in the road up ahead. Oh, which way should we go?
Wait a moment. Did Little Yu's father also give her a small box to store the cards?
Yeah, a casket of tomes. I have one too.
Oh, of course. Why didn't I think of that?
Right, it can locate nearby players.
Yes. As long as she still has the box with her, we should be able to determine her location.
Quick, get our casket of tomes out. Let's see. There's Changyun and Little Fang. Aha! There's another player over there. That must be Little You.
Little you!
Little Fang? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have gone so far away. I was trying to find a hiding place, but then I saw a bunch of really angry-looking guys and I got scared. So I ran and ran till I ended up here.
Don't worry. We've already taken care of the bad guys. But Oolong Hill is full of yin energy. You shouldn't be playing in a place like this. Understand?
Yes, sir. We won't do it again. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for rescuing me.
Of course. Now, don't go running off. Hang tight for a moment, and I'll walk you both home.
Paimon's glad she was okay.
Me too. Good on Kazuha for coming up with the Casket of Tomes idea.
Yeah, how did the rest of us not think of that? Huh. Guess we use it so often when we're playing cards that it didn't occur to us to use it for anything else. What a nifty little gadget. The Sumeru scholars who invented it must be super brainy. Oh, by the way, Changyun, we wanted to ask you about something.
Oh, I knew there was something fishy about his obsession with card backs. I can't believe it. I let a thief slip right through my fingers. Whoa. Deep breaths. Stay
Damn.
calm.
Never heard him sound like that before.
It's not your fault. You didn't know what his intentions were. If I'd been in your shoes and he invited me to a duel on the same terms, I doubt I'd have sensed anything untoward either.
Exactly. He's crafty. If you doesn't work, he'll come up with some other way to get his hands on it.
Did he happen to say anything after he got the card back?
Not a lot. He seemed to be in a hurry. He just packed up his things and then left for the docks. But I did hear him grumbling about how far away Inazuma is, and how he wasn't looking forward to the boat journey.
This guy sure talks to himself a lot. Well, it sounds like a pretty solid lead, so Paimon thinks we should follow it. But first, we should stop by the venue.
Then I guess I'll take Little Fong and Little View home now. Though I'd really rather help track down that thief.
Don't worry, leave the card snatcher to us.
Sure. I'm counting on you.
Whoa. Is it just Paimon, or did things suddenly get gloomier here after Changyun left? Huh. Come on, let's get out of here.
What an incredible match. Truly mesmerizing to watch two players compete at such a high level.
What? We missed the final again? Ugh, Paimon was hoping we'd at least get to catch a glimpse of the final round.
You're back. Did you find Chongyun? Everything go smoothly?
There were a few hiccups along the way, but in the end, it all turned out fine. So Hu Tao, did you win your match?
Of course! It didn't go quite as phew as I'd expected, but all in all, it was still a good ol' wham bam I'd like to thank my fam! My opponent was no
Wow.
pushover. We both took out a couple of each other's character cards before it came down to the decisive round.
Wham bam. I'd like to thank my him. Oh my god.
I closed my eyes, held my breath, and clenched the dice tightly in my hand as I prayed for the blessings of all my supporters in the audience, both visible and invisible. Wink, wink. Can you guess what happened next?
What happened?
Channeling all my skill and style, with a flick of the wrist, I released the dice from my hands and shouted my battle cry at the top of my lungs.
Watch me roll 6 pyro dice!
And lo and behold, when the dice came to rest, I counted precisely 6 of the pyro persuasion. It was all over before I could say, "Pyre, pyre, pants on fire."
Amazing.
Wow, sounds like your poem worked like a charm.
Director Who's playstyle is rapid but graceful, like a lone butterfly navigating the depths of a forest. With a little luck beneath her wings, she soared above the competition.
Luck is a key ingredient in every success. Wouldn't you agree, Traveler?
Oh, it's Ningguang and Charlotte! Finished with your business meeting?
Yep. I have to say, the Tianquan has a very incisive mind. She's extremely insightful. I gotta admit, I'm kinda envious of Baiwen now. Oh, wow. You must be Kaidahara Kazuha.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Charlotte.
First the Traveler, now Kazuha. Feels like I've been inducted into the Tevat Heroes Club. I remember when you made the headlines of the Steambird. Young samurai blocks the Muso no Hitotachi. You captured the public imagination in Fontaine for some time.
My oh my. I had no idea I was up against such a legendary warrior in our card duel earlier.
That's all in the past now. I count myself as the fortunate one today for this chance to make so many new friends.
Today is indeed a momentous day to have brought us all together. I propose that I treat everyone to a meal to mark the occasion, if it pleases you all.
Oh? Sounds like it's victory meal time. Count me in.
You'll have to excuse me for a moment while I wrap things up at the tournament venue. I'll join you all later.
See you later.
This is great. We can have a nice before heading off to Inazuma tomorrow.
Inazuma? Does this mean you found a new lead on the card snatcher?
Sure did. Investigating is what we do best. Well, okay, guess luck played a part in it too.
I still have some things to take care of here in Liyue, so I'm afraid I won't be able to accompany you to Inazuma.
Okay, but remember to keep working on your Genius Invocation skills. You never know when Paimon-sensei will show up for a surprise inspection!
What? You're getting pretty strict, Paimon-sensei.
I've also heard some things about this card snatcher you're pursuing.
Already? Wow, nothing gets past Ningguang, huh?
A new card back appeared on the market recently. It's extremely rare and bears an image of a treasure chest. Some players are willing to pay exorbitant amounts of more for things of this nature, as they believe they can improve their luck. So I looked into them briefly to see whether there was any genuine commercial value in them. I quickly learned that every card back with that particular design had been scooped up overnight. There's not a single one left in all of Liyue. Initially, I thought this might be just another case of a merchant hoarding goods in hopes of maximizing the profits. But once I heard more, I realized it must be the thief you are after.
Is there anything else unusual about these card backs other than their rarity?
Unfortunately, since I didn't manage to procure one for myself, I'm unable to say for sure. All I know is that despite being custom-made, they are not particularly exquisite. If they were, you can be sure I would have purchased one sooner.
The mystery of this card snatcher gets more baffling at every turn.
It doesn't matter. Given how much he likes to talk to himself, he's sure to spill all his secrets sooner or later.
Every journey into the unknown is a mystery waiting to be solved. But often, it is encounters with the unexpected that make the journey all the more interesting. For instance, it was certainly a pleasant surprise for me today to meet top talents from all around Teyvat.
Alrighty. Where are we at here? 44. Yep. I was right. About 40 minutes. Okay. What's... Yeah. Okay. So now we're done with the quest, so we can move on to this stuff now. So we will start with the Tour of Wonders. Or I don't know, should I just... I don't know, maybe I should just save this part for tomorrow. I think I'll do that. I think I'm just going to save it for tomorrow. We'll go ahead and do some more of the hangout event. Hopefully we can get the remaining endings all tonight. Alright, let's see. Let's look at our path here. Okay. So we got... Can we attract investment? Whereas the commissioner has troubles of their own, right? Okay. Alright.
The scribe's work is simple, which is exactly why I took the position.
So where are we going here? Back to Sumeru. Yeah.
We meet again.
Huh? Why are you guys here?
That's what we wanted to ask you. Who are you? Why did you dress up like a merchant to talk to me about our project? There's no need for us to continue this project if you still want to keep hiding things from us. I don't work with individuals I can't trust.
Believe me, I didn't have any bad intentions. It's just... All right, there's no point hiding anything anymore. The building I'm trying to commission you for is not really a personal residence for me, but rather a library for children living in the desert.
A library? Funded entirely by yourself? Shouldn't this be the responsibility of the academia? I've heard that the academia will be looking to prioritize the desert with the allocation of educational resources and materials. It sent over a large shipment of regular goods just last month.
You're right, and I was aware of these happenings as well. I just figured what I want to do is a separate effort from what's already being done by the academia. The desert is too vast. Even if the academia spends a lot of effort trying to disseminate knowledge in those parts, it might still take decades, if not centuries, to reduce the educational gap that already exists between the two regions. And what's more, I don't know if the academia would ever reverse its stance in the future. All I know is that as a desert dweller, we should not wait passively for good things to happen to us. If we only did that, we'd never be able to stand up and hold our heads high. I don't have much longer left on this world, so I just want to use whatever time I have to contribute something to my homeland.
Why didn't you just tell us that from the start?
I didn't want you to know that I came from the desert. I've lived in the desert my entire life, and there wasn't anyone here that I could trust. I figured I needed as much safety as I could get.
To the point that you even disguised your identity? That's certainly taking playing it safe to the next level. Hold on. Don't tell me you've also been scammed before.
When I first came to Sumeru City, I brought a lot of Mora, hoping to find an architect that I could work with. Someone agreed to take on the project, and even took a sum of Mora from me, but then disappeared without a trace. After that, I heard that there are a lot of untrustworthy people in this business. Some would run as soon as they've been paid, while others would deliberately use expensive materials and take a cut of the construction funding. I spent a while collecting information in the city, and eventually learned that you're the most famous architect in all of Sumeru. I figured that you wouldn't need to make Mora by scamming people, so I decided to reach out to you. By the way, how did you know I was scammed? I don't think I've ever mentioned that to anybody.
Just a hunch. A while ago, I accepted an offer to work on a project in the desert, and was also scammed out of a large sum of Mora. I ran into someone who was living in a pretty run-down house. I noticed a load-bearing wall on the verge of collapse, and suggested that I build a new house for him. He said that he had no way to pay for it, so I loaned him some of my own Mora, and told him to get some stone and timber from the local vendors. Soon after that, I found out that he had gone gambling with all the money, and lost everything, down to the last coin. And after that, he even borrowed Mora from me twice more, using a different excuse each time. I didn't even suspect him of any wrongdoing until he hired a group of mercenaries and tried to ambush me in his own house. According to him, I looked like an easy target because I was an academia scholar who didn't have any family or friends in the desert. What kind of person would just look at someone else and think, this guy looks like an easy target?
Those kinds of things do happen every once in a while, yes. Folks like him are the exact reason why us desert dwellers' reputation have gone down the drain. I must apologize to you on their behalf.
It's all right. You were also scammed by someone from Kasharwar after all. I should apologize to you on their behalf. Ultimately, neither of our experiences had anything to do with the desert or the rainforest. People who are new to an area are always easy targets for criminals.
Bad people are everywhere.
Yeah, you'll find both good and bad people everywhere. I can't understand the logic of those who like to take advantage of others, but I have to accept their existence as a fact of life. Anyway, I digress. Let's return to the topic at hand. Did you keep rejecting my designs because you thought I was deliberately using expensive materials to take a cut as a middleman?
That's what I was afraid of initially, yes. I eventually understood that you weren't out to cheat me. But unfortunately, I still don't have nearly enough Mora to pay for the design you proposed. I've done the math and know that we should be able to make it if we cut some corners. However, after our conversations, I can see that you're passionate about your design, and I'm quite fond of the proposal as well. So, I decided to try and see if I can afford your proposal as is. I've been looking for work every day, and in another month, I should be able to cobble together enough Mora to meet the budget.
By cobble together, you mean you're going to spend your entire life savings on this project? But then, what will you do if something unexpected comes up, and you find yourself stuck with no emergency fund?
To be honest, I haven't really thought about that. I mean, when you've lived to be my age and something happens, you can't really call it unexpected anymore. All I want is to build this library before I leave this world, so that the children of the future would have some books to read, and the desert dwellers would be able to learn their letters and pick up some practical knowledge.
You seem really passionate about this project.
A while ago, I heard that the Academia had decided to recruit a number of exceptional children from the desert. Of course, this is welcomed news. But as someone who spent their entire life in the desert, I still have a few concerns. I know the desert life, and can predict what the problems will be. Many children from the desert have had neither the interest nor the proper environment to learn. So even if the Academia would take them in, once they enter the halls, they might find themselves surrounded by other children who look and act very differently from them. And as a result, they might become socially isolated.
Yes, I can imagine that. My father passed away at an early age. Even though I had a good number of friends during my years at the Academia, for some time I still sensed many critical looks in my direction. I'm sure a child coming all the way from the desert will have an even harder time. But let's bring this back to the building itself. I think you said that you want this building to be quiet and warm, with its doors serving as a solid barrier to block out the sound and fury outside, and allow one to focus on the book in their hands. Building it according to the current plan will be quite costly. Even if I don't charge you any commission fees, I don't think we'd be able to keep it under your budget. Any ideas on what we can do?
Can we try a slightly different style?
A slightly different style? Give me a minute. Most architects would probably prioritize cutting costs and removing extra features in this situation. Indeed, converting the building into a simple bungalow would solve most of our problems. However, I do not think this would be the best solution. While it's true that the aesthetic value of a building is often viewed as an afterthought, neglecting it has some long-term negative consequences. It is especially undesirable in this situation, as the library will serve a high number of children, many of whom would have never been exposed to structures that may be considered elegant or beautiful. To completely give up on the more aesthetic design would mean stripping the children of an opportunity to appreciate the beauty of architecture. I share Badawi's sentiments in wanting to preserve a more complex design. However, if we can reduce the ornate aspects of the design while maintaining its fundamental elegance, which is to say we won't touch the arches and stone pillars but make changes elsewhere, this is definitely a first. To make up for the loss of regular details, we would need to put a lot of extra effort into the layout, lines, and color.
I see. Would that really be okay?
It just increases the difficulty of the design. You should feel lucky that out of all the architects in the city, you chose to approach me. Most of the others would have given up on this project by now. As for inspiration, I think I might have something in mind, but I'd need to visit the site to make sure. Where do you want this place to be built? Tell me the exact location.
Aru Village. Although it wasn't my childhood home, I think it'll be the best site for such a building.
Okay, then we can pay a visit to Aru Village.
Is there something I can do for you? I've already caused you a lot of trouble before, and now you're revising the design again because of me. Which draft are we even on now? It's making me feel terribly guilty.
Let me think. You said you used to be an Eremite mercenary, right? In that case, you could help us clear out some monsters that are blocking the way to Aru Village. We want to keep the roads clear, and reduce the loss of materials during transport to a minimum. If everything goes well, that'll help us save some Mora.
All right, just leave it to me. If there's anything I'm good at, it's clearing out monsters.
What are you waiting for, then? Let's pack up and get ready to go.
Fresh fruits and veggies, both quantity and quality.
No.
Most materials going from Caravan Ribat to Aru Village would pass through here. There are a lot of monsters out here today. If you find it hard to keep up, just let us know.
Oh, don't worry about me. This is nothing. I'll be careful, though, and you should do the same.
By royal decree,
Everyone hold hands.
A bitter pill to swallow.
Are you hurt?
I'm fine. I've spent my entire life fighting these kinds of monsters in the desert, after all. They won't get the best of me. But it's one thing to fight against monsters, and another to fight against an old injury. It's something I picked up when I was young. There were many fights between mercenary brigades back then, and one day someone stabbed me in the back. I don't think much of it back then, but with age, it's caught up to me. Few mercenaries get to enjoy their later years. Failing health tends to take the joy out of reputation and wealth, and many mercenaries never even made much of the latter to begin with.
Is there someone you know who can help to look after you?
Unfortunately, no. My wife passed away at an early age, and I don't have any children. Sometimes I'd close my eyes and realize most of my life story has already been written. I have many regrets about my past, but at the same time, I also know that there were never many options for me in the first place. I joined the Eremites when I was young, and won many battles with them. My survival was more a matter of luck than actual ability. If at all possible, I want future children of the desert to have some more options in life. I don't want them to turn out like me. My apologies. The older we get, the more we tend to ramble. Seems like we've already cleared out most of the monsters. Let's hurry over to Aru Village.
What's on your mind?
I think it's really admirable of him to spend his whole life savings on people he's never met. Maybe he's doing this out of natural kindness. A kindness that hasn't been eroded away by the struggles of his life.
You're also that kind of person, which is why you're helping him.
Perhaps. To clarify, though, I don't think I'm quite the same. Some people call me an idealist. I do have some sentiments of that general persuasion, such as wanting everyone to be able to lead a happy life. But my situation is more complex than that. In the beginning, what drove me to harbor those thoughts was less idealism and more a desire to make up for a sense of guilt. When I was young, I impulsively encouraged my father to take part in the first Inter-Darshan Championship hosted by the Academia. He set off confidently hoping to win something for me, but failed to clinch the title. What's more, he fell into depression after the competition and requested to join an investigative research project in the desert. I never saw him again. Word has it that he got caught in quicksand. Even if other factors may have contributed to his death, the fundamental cause still circles back to me. I started doing many things in life because I wanted to make amends. Even in cases where I couldn't do something for a specific person, I still did whatever I could. I think I just wanted to make myself feel a little better.
And is that still how you feel?
At this point, even I don't know. I've tried self-reflection, but it didn't help. I can't seem to walk away from many things that I see or hear about, even if they don't directly concern me. And I can't quite pinpoint the source of it. Maybe it's just like what those Vahumana scholars often say. It's hard for people to truly understand themselves. I could be doing things out of endless guilt, or I could be doing them out of a strong sense of empathy. It could even just be a matter of conceit. The potential motivations could number in the dozens, but the actions they result in are the same. Anyway, I suppose I don't really mind being called an idealist. They also used that term to describe my father. It seemed to carry fewer connotations back when he was around. I've known Al-Haytham for many years now, and discussed my ideology with him for nearly as long. Maybe argued is a better word for it. He told me a long time ago that no matter how strong of a swimmer you may be, you'll still get dragged under by the others who are drowning once you run out of stamina. He believes this is the fate that awaits all idealists. I still believe I should live by my ideals, and I've given him countless reasons why I think it's a good idea to do so. Perhaps my ideals are flawed, but are there really any perfect things in this world? Unfortunately, he remains unconvinced. His personality is the exact opposite of my own. If someone happens to drown next to him, he'll most likely stand on the shore and mumble something along the lines of respecting other people's fates. But as you can see, I'm not the only idealist in the world. Just as there are different seasons, there are also different people. There are many others who will continue to care about the fates of those who are not directly related to them. And when I finally run out of stamina, someone will also reach out and bring me back to shore. Someone will help me, right? Yes, I've already been helped like that before.
I'll help you when the time comes.
But you've helped me plenty already. If you didn't reach out to me, I would probably be passed out on the tavern table right now instead of talking with Badawi. Either way, I'm feeling much better than when you first found me at the tavern. I can feel inspiration already welling up inside of me. Maybe this will be just the opportunity I needed to create a whole new style. All right, let's head to Aru Village. Now that we're here, it's my partner's time to shine. Marak!
Oh, what's this?
My toolbox. I built it using an ancient mechanical core. It's not too smart, but it's super useful and can help me with a variety of tasks. I'll take Marak and find a suitable location for the building. Once that is done, I'll get to work on a few designs.
Traveler?
Sataria?
Ah, you know each other?
Hello. I suppose you must be Kaveh from Kasharawar. I have heard of you before. My name is Sataria, and I'm currently the person in charge of promoting educational assistance programs here in the desert.
Educational assistance programs? Then you must be familiar with the local conditions here.
I can't say I'm too familiar just yet, but if you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer them.
I've been commissioned by Mr. Badawi to build a library in the desert. We've settled on the general design direction, but we are trying to finalize some details based on the conditions around the intended location.
A library? Do you intend to open it to the public for free?
That's right. I want to make sure the children will have books to read.
That's fantastic! I'm sure the children will be thrilled. Right now, we don't have access to many paper books or a quiet place to read. Truth be told, this very thing has been keeping me up at night.
Let me get straight to my questions, then. Can you estimate the number of children around here who'd be interested in reading? Besides the usual noise of village pedestrians, are there any other sources of noise in the village? Oh, and have any landslides occurred here recently? And also, where are the spots around the village that have been most affected by wind and erosion? All right, that should be everything. Badawi, let's go over the budget again. We'll keep the building structure the same, but make the place a little bigger, so it'll be able to hold more people and get better natural light. The parts of the project that cost the most will be the insulation and ventilation materials. I'm sure you understand, no one likes to read in a place that's hot and stuffy. I want to make significant changes to the arrangement of the bookshelves, tables, and chairs. I'll go over the specifics of that shortly. I have two plans in mind. Both are pretty minimalist in style, but will provide a very different ambiance from the world outside. Our final cost should be around 70% of the last figure I quoted. The whole thing should take around half a year to complete. Marak has produced a sketch for all of you to see. If everyone's okay with it, then we'll proceed with that as the formal plan.
You've got a new design plan already?
The inspiration just came to me naturally. All I did was put thoughts to paper. I must give you credit, though. If it weren't for your advice and suggestions, I probably wouldn't have landed on this new style so quickly. According to the traditions of my profession, I should probably name this style after you. Let's call it the Traveler style. In the meantime, let's look forward to the day when this building is completed and can finally open its doors.
Okay. We just got one ending left now.
I create.
Oh, wait.
Another universe.
All right. go ahead and try to finish this tonight. Now, this last branch here might be kind of hard to figure out.
Taking this commission was truly the worst decision ever.
Are you all right?
Oh, hey. I wasn't expecting to run into you here. Actually, while we're on that, what are you doing here at the tavern? Don't listen to anyone who says that drinking is an elegant pastime. It's no good for your health.
I saw you arguing with someone just now.
So you saw all that, did you? Ugh, I thought I was in the clear. I made sure to double-check that nobody I knew was around. Anyway, thanks for looking out for me. Honestly, it wasn't that big of a deal. I'm used to it by now. Stress is just an inescapable part of being a working adult. Boss, I'll have a glass of wine, same as last time. Do you want something too? I'll put it on my tab.
I'll have a glass of juice.
Wine and a glass of juice coming right up.
I know you're already... But if you could add this one to the list as well, I'd really appreciate it. Arguing with a client is not a good look for me. If word gets out, other potential clients might be afraid to work with me. That guy, though... What was he even going on about? All those ridiculous demands of his? He's just a blabbering fool trying to act like a know-it-all.
Kaveh seems a lot more honest after he's had some wine.
Another glass, please, boss. I'm not leaving today till someone has to carry me out.
You've got it, sir. I gotta say, though, it almost feels like you're saying that every other day now.
It really is every other day that you'd run into a client who knows nothing about construction requirements or architectural style. If this was in the past, I'd never have gone through 6 whole drafts trying to accommodate the client's preferences. But perhaps getting used to this just means that I've grown numb to it. I've worked on so many projects since graduation, and none of them have been approved at the first pass. I would spend a lot of time altering my designs, and by the time the clients were finally satisfied, all my passion and enthusiasm would be gone. It feels like I'm straying further and further from my artistic vision with every change I have to make. I suppose, though, that just sticking to your guns and completely disregarding other people's feedback would also not be a good thing. All of this makes for a real paradox, one that particularly crops up in my work, too. In the end, what is the true meaning of art? Should I see it as a divine gift of inspiration from the gods? Or an expression of the light of my own wisdom?
Here's your drink. How are you already spouting nonsense after just one glass? Your tolerance is usually much better than that.
Boss, what do you think is the meaning of art?
The meaning of art? Really, my friend, who in Sumeru understands art better than you? Anyway, I don't know about art, but I do know that I'm interested in business, and some patrons are waiting to be served. So, you'll have to excuse me for now. Just holler if you need anything.
What do you think, traveler?
I honestly have no idea.
No worries. It was just an offhand question. It's been bothering me for a while. Even when I'm awake, the question haunts me like a bad dream. I still haven't found a good answer to it. Or maybe there was never a correct answer in the first place.
Kaveh still looks dejected, and even the wine didn't help his mood. How can I help cheer him up? Maybe I should play it safe and just make a simple suggestion. Okay, see, I'm not sure which one I want to do here. I guess let's go back and let's do something else and clear your mind.
Sounds
I don't know
great
if this
to
is
me.
right, but
I don't even want to think about this project anymore. But what should we do? It's probably not a good idea to just drink until I pass out here.
oh, okay. I don't think we've done. How about, okay, so we'll do this. How about looking into another career?
A different career. I see. That's not a bad idea. I think I've heard a saying somewhere before. 80% of a working adult's woes are due to not having enough mora in the bank. It's just a saying, of course, but even I will admit that my life would be a lot better if I could make additional mora. And if I want to make mora, I should finish that ridiculous commission. But I really can't find it in me to go back and talk to him right now. Hold on. I just remembered that I used to have a senior classmate by the name of Alkami. If memory serves me right, he's no longer taking private commissions, but he's still doing pretty well for himself. Maybe I'll be able to get some advice from him. Yeah, I should get on this right away. No more wine for me today. I'll grab the bill and be on my way.
Alkami. Okay, so are we on the right track here? Okay, good, we are. Alright. Ugh. Crap, I didn't mean to do that. Oh well, she only lost a little HP.
Kaveh, it's you! It's been a while. What have you been up to recently?
Yeah, it's been a long time, Alkami. Things haven't changed much for me. I'm still taking private commissions for all kinds of projects.
I heard that you were the genius behind the Palace of Alcazazare. I bet you're all set for Mora after a project of that size.
Well, it's hard to make a profit from every project, you know?
Hard to make a profit? You've got to be joking. I've never met an architect who didn't make a profit from a project. Unless the client fled before they paid the commission fee in full. But that doesn't sound right either. Doesn't Dory have a pretty decent reputation in our local business circles? I don't think she's ever been involved in any kind of big scandal.
Well, about that. I mean, it was complicated.
I understand. Either way, Doing one project after another sure gets exhausting over the years, huh? I've been there, so I can feel your pain. I mean, I obviously never had your reputation to live up to. That must have been stressful. But I'm sure we've faced all the same problems. Trying to keep your client in a good mood while you're trying to stop them from micromanaging things they don't know the first thing about. I don't miss it. Thankfully, that's all behind me now.
Did you start a new career?
Well, not exactly. My work is still closely related to architecture. Judging from the look on your face, you're still strapped for Mora. That's quite unfortunate. You're the most artistically gifted graduate the Ksharawar Darshan has seen in decades. But it looks like you still have a lot to learn in terms of making Mora. With that said, us Ksharawar grads should still look out for each other. What if I told you about an idea that'll absolve you of all your Mora troubles going forward?
Are you serious? But something like that has got to be some kind of top-level business secret. Are you sure you can just share something like that with me? Besides, I don't want to just take something like that without offering anything in return. I still have a little Mora. Or is there something that I can help you with?
Oh, you're too kind. This is just a simple tip. Even if I didn't bring it up, I'm sure you'd hear it from the others sooner or later. The idea is this. I recently opened up a training center with the goal of educating people in architecture design. Compared to the classes taught by those old fossils at the academia, my classes are more condensed and streamlined and will allow people to quickly get their foot in the door. Unlike the academia, I won't turn down anyone who's interested, rich or poor. As long as someone wishes to learn more about architecture, I'll accept them into my training center. It just so happens that I'm still looking for a few more instructors. So, what do you say? Interested in coming over to give a few lectures? Regardless of the pay, I can already guarantee that it'll be far more comfortable than working on random people's private commissions.
Ah, so you want me to join you as an instructor? That does sound like something I'd be able to do. It sounds like a pretty stable job, too. What do you think, Traveler?
I think you can give it a go.
Then it's a deal.
Yes, it's a deal. Thank you, Alkami.
Like I said, there's no need to thank me for this. The lecture room is not far from here, so you can just come straight here tomorrow morning. As for the pay, how about we start at 300,000 Mora per lecture?
300,000? Are you serious? How could you offer so much?
It would seem that you're still oblivious to your own economic worth. 300,000 is nothing compared to the prestige of having the Light of Ksharawar as one of my instructors. 300,000 is also just the base rate. Just trust me on this. The longer you stick with me, the more you'll come to understand your true value in the market. I have to go make some preparations now. See you tomorrow.
I was never particularly close with Alkami when we were in school. Who would have thought that he'd be so nice and friendly? I've hosted free lectures before, but this would be my first time being hired to lecture for a formal business. 300,000 Mora per lecture. Whew. I'm so excited that I'm starting to get nervous.
I'll join you for the lecture.
Thanks so much. I think I will be able to relax a bit more with a friend in the audience. Now, what should I talk about tomorrow? Some lessons I've learned over the past few years? I should probably save those for later. For my first lecture, I should start by getting them more interested in the field. All right, let's meet here again tomorrow morning. I should hurry home and create some kind of lesson plan. If I'm going to become an instructor, I should make sure I show up prepared.
7 o'clock the following day. Chat about the future with Kaveh in the desert.
Oh, I didn't expect you two to get here so early.
I was up last night preparing for the lecture, but I ended up getting so excited that I couldn't fall asleep. Here, I've prepared a lesson plan. Do you want to take a look?
Lesson plan? I must commend you for your dedication. But the training center has already developed its own set of teaching materials. Instead of using your own plan, you can just use what we have here. Of course, you're always welcome to work in some of your own content to add some fun and flavor.
Can I take a look at your materials?
Sure. Be my guest.
The materials cover a variety of architectural knowledge. At first glance, nothing appears to be amiss.
It's almost time for the lecture to start. Feel free to head in and start the class whenever you're ready.
Why is the traveler analyzing that? Like, he doesn't know anything about architecture.
Huh. So you've already developed your own set of teaching materials. Seems like I won't need the stuff I've prepared after all. Anyway, shouldn't be a problem. I'll just go ahead and use your materials. There's something else I want to ask, though. This isn't going to be a large class, is it?
No need to stress. There are only 20 people in this class. There are 14 classes at my training center. Out of all of them, the first class has the best grades, so I've directed them to you. We'll see how well they take to your lectures.
20 people, huh? All right. I think I can handle that.
Oh, and one last thing. In the interest of keeping a quiet learning space, only instructors and students are allowed in the classroom when class is in session. I'm sorry to say this, but your friend will have to wait outside while you teach the class.
It's okay. I was thinking about taking a walk anyway.
Sorry about that. I'll meet you at the door when the class is over then.
Is Alkami really as nice as he seems? I should probably ask around a bit. Looks like the traveler is suspicious.
Hey there. Can I help you?
Do you know a man by the name of Alkami?
Oh, Alkami? You mean that rich guy who's been making quite the name for himself? Yeah, he commissioned a set of furniture from me a while back. Paid a great deal of mora for it, too. I heard he earned a fortune working as a renowned architect. Now he's opened a training center so others can follow in his footsteps.
Oh, I think I'm starting to see why he would be suspicious. Because how did he get so rich just being an architect, right? Like...
if the tuition wasn't sky high, I'd enroll my child in a heartbeat. Architecture really sounds like a lucrative profession.
Did you hear? Alkami recruited Kaveh to be an instructor.
Oh, goodness.
I bet that'll boost his enrollment numbers.
Really makes you jealous, eh? If you think about it, Alkami was never that talented himself as an architect. If we're just talking about professional skill, no one would pay for a class with him.
That's true, but you've got to admit, his advertisements are really effective. After all, the academia only admits those that can pass its entrance exam. So only a few people could hope to study architecture in the halls of the Kasharwar. For those who can't pass the exam, or who just want to jump straight into the industry, the training center is the best bang for the mora.
Man, to have that kind of business acumen.
All right, everyone. There's no need to be nervous. Class is over, so we can just chat for a bit. I shouldn't have lost my temper during the lecture. Did I scare anybody?
Oh no. He got mad again.
No, you weren't scary at all, Mr. Kaveh. We were just a bit lost and didn't get what you were talking about.
Well, yeah, when you got like fucking 8-year-old kids coming to shit like this, probably not gonna go over too well. Did something happen, Kaveh?
Oh, don't get me started. I was trying to use Alkami's materials, so I flipped through some pages and gave them a closer look. The more I read, the more upset I became. Alkami may fool an amateur, but he can't fool anyone who's active in our profession. The materials he made are completely useless for teaching real architecture.
Why do you say that?
In my opinion, the most important skill of an architect is their ability to craft a design. In other words, they must be able to conceptualize ideas. There are tens of thousands of buildings in the world, as well as a countless number of architectural styles. Some designs emphasize aesthetics, while others prioritize practicality. The architects who can critically evaluate the quality and fit of different designs are those who can come up with great designs of their own. But you won't get any of that from the teaching materials they're using here. All these students are doing in class is rote memorization of existing designs. They are learning nothing about the underlying principles. How can they expect to become real architects? When they're done with this class, all they'll become are dilettantes with a pitiful smattering of architectural knowledge.
But Mr. Kaveh, we didn't really understand anything you said after you threw away the materials either. What's the big deal anyway? It's not like we're looking to make some works of art. We just want to make some Mora.
You're studying architecture to make Mora?
Yeah. Why else would we be studying here? My biggest dream is to become someone like Mr. Alkami. Once I finally make my fortune in architecture, I'll be able to buy anything I like.
Huh. In that case, I'm afraid you'll probably be disappointed. The reality is that the work of an architect is very difficult, and the pay is not lucrative at all. Believe me, I'm a perfect example.
But how? Mr. Alkami just told us last night that you made a killing by building the Palace of Alcazarzare. He also said that as long as we graduate from his class, waves upon waves of people will reach out to us with private commissions, and we can just sit back and wait for Mora to fill up our pockets. It won't be long before I can put these miserable days behind me.
Come on.
Bro, what?
And you all believed everything he said?
I don't understand this. I mean, these people sound like they're talking like they're adults, but they're like freaking 10-year-old kids. Like, what is going on here?
But Mr. Alkami is really rich, isn't he?
You... It's pointless trying to argue this with you right now. You've already filled your heads with pipe dreams. Let's go, traveler. Let's hear about Alkami's true plans from the man himself.
What's wrong, Kaveh? You look quite flustered. Did one of my students offend you?
I think Alkami is a shyster.
Were the students not astute enough for your liking? I must implore you to go a bit easier on them. After all, they're nothing like the genius scholars you're used to dealing with at the academia. We don't need to strive for perfect understanding. As long as some knowledge has been passed on, that's good enough.
Yeah, I'm mad at them. But I'm even more upset that you're scamming people under the guise of teaching them about architecture. The students are all here hoping for a quick way to make money, but we both know that an architect's life is hard and exhausting. Just a little while ago, I was toiling over the 6th draft of a design for a client. If your client is unhappy, you can't break ground, and the longer a project goes, the longer it takes for you to get paid in full. What's worse, if your client disappears in the middle of a project, good luck getting anything from them ever again. You know all of this just as well as I do. Why lie to them?
Look, Kaveh, you may be the light of Ksharawar, but like I said, you still have a lot to learn about making Mora. You may deny it all you want, but it's a fact that in today's Sumeru, architecture is a terrible profession. Our clients care very little for the effort we pour into our designs. Instead of appreciating us, they spend all their time nitpicking details and demanding changes, often forcing all kinds of ridiculous ideas onto us.
I mean, isn't that exactly what he was just saying?
I suppose that's more or less true. Go on.
Why should we cling on to a profession that's difficult and unrewarding? If the field is dying, then a person who still wants to make a good living will just have to change their strategy. If it's near impossible to make money as an architect, then why not just establish a training center and train other people to become architects in our stead?
Wait, how does that make any sense? Aren't you just leading them into the same trap?
We are already stuck, my friend. The more people we can lead into this pit and stack as padding beneath our feet, the more comfortable our lives will be.
So, instead of making money from architecture, you made your money from your students?
That's right. Making money as an architect is a slow and agonizing process. In comparison, earning tuition from a training center is far easier. None of the students will ever know, however. In their eyes, all of my income was earned during my years as an architect. It's easy for them to fall for my promise. After all, everyone wants to live the dream of being the person who can spend millions without batting an eye. The more students I get, the more money I earn. And the more real that dream becomes.
And then what? Once they graduate, they'll still find out the truth about architecture and struggle to stay afloat amid all the problems we already talked about.
Yeah, he's got a point. Like, there's no way you can just keep lying to them, because, yeah, eventually word's gonna get out, and, people are gonna quit coming.
When that happens, your facade will pop like a soap bubble. No one will believe you anymore.
But that's just one way to look at the problem. No two people have the same amount of talent. Even if they fail to strike gold in the future, you can't say that it's my fault and mine alone. Oh, and also, I never actually promised that they would achieve financial freedom as long as they become architects. All I did was nudge them towards that belief. I'm not even scared if they do come back and stir up trouble. My training center has all the required permits and certifications. Even the Dendro Archon herself couldn't find fault in any part of my business.
How can you sleep at night knowing that you're doing all this? Tell me, is your heart carved out of brick and stone? I can't believe that I once saw you as a decent human being. I am beyond disappointed in you.
And the same goes to you. How many years has it been since you graduated from the academia? If you still can't accept something like this, do you just plan on keeping that worthless naivete of yours until the end of time? Only fools will see art as revered and sacred. In the end, art is just another business. Being successful at running a business is an art form in itself. I urge you to think about what I've said. Offloading your pain onto others is the only way a person can live comfortably in this world. As the light of the Ksharawar, you've accumulated plenty of fame and respect. It's high time that you use those resources to improve the circumstances of your own life. Think it over, Kaveh. I still believe our collaboration could be very fruitful.
What do you plan to do next?
I'm so mad, I feel a headache coming on. There's nothing more I can say to him. I'll resign from my position as instructor.
You give up the Mora?
Of course. I'm sure you've realized that as long as I remained at this center, he would be able to use my name to advertise this place. Even if I just sit back and do nothing, others will be deceived and suffer because of me. He is right about one thing, though. These kinds of training centers are everywhere. And even if the academia was to find out about it, it's unlikely that they would take any real action against it. The most that they could accuse him of is false advertising. And even that would be hard to prove.
There's something strange about all of this.
Oh? Did you notice something else?
Some of the students didn't appear to be very wealthy.
Yeah, you've got a point. The rate he gave me was 300,000 mora per lecture. That probably came out of the students' tuition. And who knows just how much he's been charging the students for attending his classes. If you're gambling everything on making it rich as an architect, are you really going to have the mora to pay for that kind of tuition?
We can try asking the students.
Right. We should hurry. The students didn't believe a word I was telling them. They're still daydreaming about making millions. We're never going to get any information from them again if we let Alkami talk to them first. Let's move now before he's had the chance to react.
Oh, Mr. Kaveh? What are you doing back here?
Class finished a while ago, but you're still here. Why haven't you gone home?
I wanted to stay for a little longer. I'm still thinking about everything you taught during the class. Even though a lot of it went right over my head, I still thought the houses you drew were really pretty.
Of course they were. All the examples I drew were world-famous landmarks. Each one was the magnum opus of a celebrated architect. It's a good thing that you could recognize them for their beauty. The accumulation of knowledge is the first step to artistic expression. Instead of rote memorization, you should try to relate and to understand, and after that, try to resonate with the work.
Resonate?
Yes. When I first got into architecture, there were many things about it that I couldn't understand at all. I would find a building to be beautiful, but have no idea what made it so good. And for most people, just being able to admire a building is enough. To become a good architect, however, you must also learn to assess and appraise. Going from admiration to assessment will take a lot of time and specialized knowledge, and I'm afraid that some superficial speed training won't be enough to take you there.
Just as I thought. Becoming an architect won't be as easy as Mr. Alkami made it out to be, right?
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to crush your dreams. All I want to tell you is that an architect's life is not as carefree and easy as others may make it out to be.
I understand. Thank you for telling me the truth, Mr. Kaveh. I think I'll still stay here for the time being, though, since my family still hasn't paid everything off.
Paid off what?
Sorry, I can't say anything more. Mr. Alkami made it very clear that anyone who talks about it will be kicked out of the class.
Don't listen to him. I am the most famous architect in Sumeru. If he kicks you out, then I'll just take you in instead.
Really?
Why would I pull your leg? I can see you have some talent, so as long as you get your fundamentals down, you should be able to pass the entrance exam and continue your studies at the academia.
Then please keep this a secret for me, Mr. Kaveh. Truth be told, my family is not very well off, so we couldn't really afford the tuition for this class. Mr. Alkami was the one who reached out to my parents. He told them that he knew a merchant by the name of Bahar and that we could get a loan from him. He told all the students that once we graduate, people would come flocking to commission us for projects. If everything went well, we'd be able to pay off everything in just a few years, and all the more we make after that would be ours.
Man. hate to say it, but that description is not really that far from what even like top universities do. I mean, let's be real here. I mean, the whole point of going to a university where you have to go tens of thousands of dollars into debt. I mean, that's all for the promise that you're going to be able to make enough money to pay off all of that, you know, after you graduate. And hopefully it only takes you a few years.
How much did your family borrow from this merchant?
I think it was several million mora.
And what was the interest rate?
I'm not really sure. My parents were the ones who signed the contract. All I know is that the stack of papers was as thick as a slab of rock.
Something doesn't feel right about all of this.
Yeah, I have a bad feeling too. Something about the whole thing feels dastardly familiar. We need to find that merchant to confirm. But if we were to confront him right now, there's no way he'd admit to anything.
What if Dory is behind all of this? Fucking Dory, dude. We can pretend to be potential customers.
Good idea. Hey, tell me, do you know where we'd be able to find this merchant?
We last saw him on the north shore of Port Ormos. Who knows if he's still in that area, though.
Well, it'd still be worth taking a look. Architecture... No. The arts shouldn't be used as bait for a scam. We need to do something before the students' lives are ruined even further.
Okay, yeah, we'll go here. Whoa, okay.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen you guys before. Here for business?
You're Fahar, right?
Yes. May I ask who introduced you?
Alkami. My friend here wants to enroll in his architecture class, but they're a bit short on money. Alkami told us you're the man to go to in this kind of situation.
I'm really interested in architecture.
Oh, sounds like his business is booming. How much do you need?
Let me see. I'd say around 3 million mora.
Oof. You call that a bit short on money? Anyway, since you're here because of Alkami, I can work things out for you. Make sure you sign the contract, though. Lots of people are borrowing money from me nowadays.
What contract?
Ah, here you go. Don't worry, there's nothing particularly unusual about it. All you need to do is pay back the loan in full within 3 years.
And what if they won't be able to pay it back?
What do you mean, won't be able to pay it back? Once you graduate from Alkami's place, you'll be making millions of mora a year. Easy! At that point, paying this off will be a piece of cake. And even if you were to run into some difficulties and need to delay the installments, it's no big deal. We're all reasonable people here. If you can't pay quickly, you can just pay it back over a longer period. All that would change is your interest rates would get a little higher. It's hard work running a business. If we're taking risks to supply you with mora, it's only fair that you take on a bit of the financial risk as well. Anyway, there's no point in tying yourself in knots over the contract. With the way you're reading every single line, it's like you're worried you're about to get scammed out of your whole life savings. Why would I lie to you? Tons of students at Alkami's place have signed the contract. Aren't they all doing pretty well for themselves?
Wait. No, they're not. That's the thing.
I just did some calculations in my head. When you say the interest will get a little higher, do you mean it'll get higher than 30%? Of course, the contract did a great job of trying to obfuscate that fact. It only listed the amount that you'll have to repay every day, which gives the false impression that the amount hasn't actually increased by all that much. If you actually do the math, however, it's clear that the amount you need to pay on interest alone will amount to hundreds of thousands of mora per year. Most people can't even make that much mora in a year. Your greed really knows no bounds. Even my creditor doesn't dare to raise rates that high. Once a family's signed on to a scheme like this, there's no getting out.
What are you trying to say, huh?
The Matra will happily answer that question.
I figured something was off when two well-dressed people came looking for a loan. Think you got the better of me? Too many people are sticking their noses where they don't belong these days. Luckily for me, though, this is a pretty secluded spot. Hey, come out and teach these guys a lesson!
Eremites? I've already fought off more than my fair share of them when I was working in the desert. There are only a few of them, so they shouldn't pose much of a threat. Marak, you're up!
Well.
Remember, health comes first.
Try to keep up!
Odd, reveal thyself! The Temple of Wisdom!
I'll be
Scanning!
You want this one?
Who are you, and what do you want? I don't think we've done anything to hurt or offend you. So why go this far to destroy my livelihood?
Debt has the power to upend your whole life. I know very well just how miserable living in debt can be. But my debts are the culmination of many different factors, and my interest rate is still somewhat reasonable. As long as I continue to work with my situation in mind, my debts will eventually be paid off. But these students are different. They have neither the mental preparation nor the financial resources to pay back a debt like this. You sold the dreams of becoming an architect to the students as bait, urging them to take on insurmountable amounts of debt to satisfy your greed.
Ha! Everyone knows there's no such thing as a free lunch. It's their own fault for falling into the trap. And if we're going to talk about greed, aren't those students the ones who are blinded by it? They completely ignore the risk that's right there in front of them.
That's no excuse for your actions.
Ha! And here comes the silver tongue. Surely you use that to reel in the students as well. Even now, many of them are still hopelessly dreaming of striking gold after they graduate. People grow by learning from their mistakes. I hope this will be a valuable lesson to them. Let's head back to the academia and turn this guy over to the Matra. They should be able to link him with Alkami's business. Sino? Didn't think I would run into you here.
My vacation just ended not too long ago, so I'm going over some cases at the academia. Who's this? I see. Charging an interest rate over 30% indeed constitutes a crime. As it is highly likely that Alkami is also benefiting from this scheme, the Matra will open an investigation on him as well. The training center will be closed until further notice. Any funds we manage to recover from the suspects will be returned to the students. It's unclear how much we'll be able to get back, however, given their extravagant spending.
That should still be enough. Once the students realize the error of their ways, they won't fall so easily for such traps in the future. Anyway, thank you for your help. I hope this won't be too much trouble for you.
It's no trouble. Just another day at work. How did you two get tangled up in this anyway?
Alkami tried to hire Kaveh as one of his instructors.
Did you accept any Mora from him?
He promised to pay me 300,000 Mora per lecture, but I resigned as soon as I finished the first session. I didn't take a single coin.
Ah, that's good.
What do you mean, that's good? Would you have taken me into custody as well if I had actually accepted any Mora?
I wouldn't have gone that far. But, had he insisted that you were also an active participant in his schemes, under our rules, we would have been required to open an investigation on you as well. Either way, though, I believe you are innocent in all of this. Had you actually been alright with making money through less than noble means, your life wouldn't be the mess it currently is.
Hey, what was that? What do you mean my life is a mess?
Never mind. Your life is fine.
You're just messing with me now, aren't you?
What the fuck?
Let's get back to business. If Alkami's case can be successfully resolved, you'll be eligible for a monetary reward from the Academia. Don't forget to pick it up after the fact.
Huh. I didn't even know there was such a thing. I never would have guessed. What I'm trying to say is that we didn't report Alkami because we thought we could make some more off of it.
The reward will be given regardless of your personal motivations. It was implemented with the intent of encouraging people to supply tips to the Matra.
Fine.
Is there anything else?
I want to go back to the training center one more time and talk to some of the kids.
Sure, but you should wait until tomorrow. My subordinates will shut down the center today, and summon the students to gather information on the total amount of Mora they've lost in the scam.
Alright, then I'll stay out of their way. I can talk to the kids tomorrow.
I have a few other things to take care of, so I'll be off for now. If you want to follow up on this case, just come find me again. Or ask one of the Matra.
That should finally be the end of that. Oh, who would have thought it would turn out like this? All I wanted was to find a new gig and earn some Mora. To think Alkami would sink this low, it still makes me really upset. Still, I think I feel a little better now than when you found me back at the tavern.
Oh? How so?
It's a little ironic, but you could say it's because I've realized that there are many circumstances in the world that are even worse than my own. Now that I've seen such things firsthand, I suppose I've earned a new sense of appreciation for my life. How should I put it? I'm pretty stubborn when it comes to my profession, so I often argue with my clients. The arguments are usually extremely frustrating, and every once in a while I'd wonder if I only became an architect because fate wanted me to pay for some sins I'd committed in a previous life. Alkami's suggestion would have allowed me to quit my life as an architect and earn money solely from my reputation. But now that I've experienced that for myself, I can confidently say that I'd never want to do it again.
And that's why he thinks you're too rigid when it comes to making Mora.
Every scholar has their own sense of pride and a line that they don't like to cross. Of course, when faced with the vicissitudes of life, some will surrender these things to seek a more comfortable life. I can understand that. Just speaking for myself, though, I don't think that's something I'd ever be able to do. The voice in my heart would just keep repeating one thing. The moment I turn away from my dreams would be the moment my career ends. If I stopped devoting everything to my creative activities, I'd be able to lead a more comfortable life, but at the same time, my sense of intuition and understanding for the arts would also begin to degrade. At that point, any materialistic ease I may have gained in life would just become another form of torment. In comparison, my current life comes with its share of difficulties, but at least I'd never have to deal with that kind of existential reckoning.
It's good to stay true to yourself.
I appreciate it. You may call me conceited for this, but I would also like to think I'm talented enough to be able to lead a decent life without compromising my pride. It's certainly not easy, but I want to keep at it. My thanks again for being such a great help throughout all of this. I'm planning to pay another visit to those kids tomorrow. Want to come with me?
Sure, I'll come.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow then. Get some good rest.
After 8 o'clock.
I never would have guessed Mr. Okami was a scammer.
The training center has been shut down, and the Madra have promised to return some of our tuition. But we've already spent so much time on this class. What should we do next?
Mr. Kaveh said we can keep working on our fundamentals and try to get into the academia.
Ha! Easier said than done. If it was easier to get into the academia, none of us would have signed up for the class in the first place. Only the best of the best can get into the academia studying on their own.
Mr. Kaveh might be willing to teach us.
Why? What reason does he have to stick around?
So, you're the only ones that showed up today, huh?
Huh? Kaveh's here!
Now, that's Mr. Kaveh to you. I'm here as your instructor, so let's keep things a little more proper. I'll keep instructing you for a while longer. You can pass on the message to the other students. As long as someone wants to come, they can join the class. Oh, also, I'm usually pretty busy, so I'll only be able to teach architecture fundamentals on my days off. Another disclaimer, I can't promise that you'll all be able to understand everything I'm going to teach. Architecture is not an easy profession. Aesthetics aside, even the basics of safe design can already be a handful for most people. If you want to design safe buildings, you'll have to go through a systematic study of structural engineering. And just as a heads up, all of this will be a huge step up from the superficial stuff you were learning before. It'll take both talent and perseverance to get through the course. I don't want to hear anyone say that I didn't warn you.
We'll try our best.
It seems some of you are really serious about this after all. All right, everyone, pack your stuff up. No need to prepare much for today's class. We're going to go on a quick field trip.
Where to?
You'll know once we get there. Come on, let's get going. We'll be off once everyone's grabbed their pencils and sketch pads. This lighthouse has been around for a long time, and I handled its renovations when I first graduated from the academia. The point of today is not so much about the lighthouse as a building, however. I just want you to take a look at it and do a bit of self-reflection. If you were tasked today with designing a building, how would you want it to look like? Don't think about how you'd actually go about building it for now. Just put your ideas to paper and draw the prettiest building that comes to your mind.
So, it can be, any kind of building?
Yep, as long as you think it'd look good. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a building. If you want, you can draw trees, the ocean, or even a garden area. Draw whatever you'd like.
What's the point of this exercise?
In my experience, it's best to approach the study of architecture from a point of personal interest, rather than for the sake of a career. Both the study and practice of architectural design are extremely difficult. A person who's forced to work on projects that they don't resonate with will only struggle and suffer. So at least for today, I hope the students will be able to create something that they enjoy. There's no need to think about it too hard. They'll have plenty of time in the future to revisit the design and make changes. What do you think? Want to try your hand at it as well? Don't forget that this is a free class from Mr. Kaveh, the Light of the Kasharawar. On a normal day, this would cost you 300,000 mora.
Alright, we are done with the hangout event now.
Wait. Huh? No.
Alright guys, well, that is gonna do it for tonight. I think since we're done with the hangout event now,
Add Astra.
this will be it for the 3.7 streams. I think that'll be it for Genshin Impact until probably until the next time I do some more wishing, which I think will probably be the next character banner whenever that comes out. So let's see, that's 16 days. So yeah. Here. Complete Pendulum of Wheel and Woe. Okay. Anyway, so that means tomorrow I will probably go back to streaming God of War Ragnarok. So, yeah. Come join me again tomorrow. We'll do God of War Ragnarok, and yeah, we're getting close to the end of that game, so hopefully it won't be too much longer. So yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good night.